Hi, and I'm Annie Vinje. Welcome to the Feel Good Everyday podcast. I've got with me Byrd Graciano again. Yay, you're just having so much fun doing these together.
I am actually, I'm loving
Well,
it.
as you know, we are both integrative health practitioners. We are best friends. We are homeschool moms. Bird's a personal trainer. I'm a yoga teacher. We've got some other credentials we can go into. But today we want to talk about perimenopause and menopause. I know, it's everywhere. But let's talk about it, normalize it, and maybe figure out if there's a way to fix it. And I think, it's like the 2 a.m. wake up calls, it's the weight gain, it's the mood swings, it's the um hot sweats, hot flashes, right? It's like the hair falling out. And I think the big wake up call for me as I'm navigating all these things and learning more about it on the other science side, the health side, how to help or fix or support, is that this has been going on for a while. The things that are happening right now in my body are, yes, happening because of age and hormones, but the other symptoms, like the 2 a.m. wake up call, like the weight gain, yes, the mood swings, are because I've been doing these habits that have not been supporting me fully. And like we've talked about in other podcasts, we are, accomplished people who have busy lives. Not just Bird and I, but probably everyone that's listening to this right now, right? Well,
Yeah.
every single one of my friends I can name, same thing. And so we push through, we hustle through, we grind through because we've got kids and work and families and lives and things to get done. And it just starts to compound. And really, like, the body keeps the score, right? That famous book that maybe you have not read it or read it. And it just kind of comes to that. All right, before I go any further, because I'll go off on another rant. Bird, jump in.
Well, no, I was gonna say, I feel like an important piece to this puzzle, because sometimes when I hear people talk about perimenopause, I, as a listener, am curious, wanting to know ages.
Yes, yes.
So
Good.
I feel like that's an important piece to start with. So just so you guys know, as we're talking about this, I will be 45 in a couple months. What
Yes.
about you, Ian?
I just turned 48 in February. Yep.
Because I feel like sometimes when I hear people talk about perimenopause, and I'm like, but how old are you really?
Yeah, well, that's another good point, right? Like, I've heard people say it could start as early as 25. Could it really? Like 10 to 15 years? Yes. But
Yeah.
25? Or is that a stress problem? Yeah.
Right. Right. I will tell you, I remember I went to my OBGYN because I was having significant hair loss, and I was like, I don't really know what's happening. This was maybe, I'm gonna say this was like 4 years ago, 5 years
Mhm.
ago.
Yep.
I've had a few different bouts of hair loss, which happens when I get very stressed. But anyway, so I was in there and she was like, you're going through perimenopause. And I'm like, already? I'm only like in my 40s. And then fast forward to like, I went to like a naturopath and she was like, I don't know. You're still in like very regular cycles and different things. I'm going to attribute that more to the stress you were under and you were showing perimenopause symptoms. So it's so funny how you can get this like catch-22 of like one side says this and the other side says this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, exactly. And it's like, I mean, it's possible. Yes, it's totally
Well,
possible.
yes.
You could be.
I'm gonna I'm
But
gonna say that that piece of the puzzle, now that I look back, was more stress-based than like perimenopause.
yes, exactly. And I think instead of someone getting to the root cause and really digging that much deeper into what you were going through at that point and going, oh, okay, perimenopause is probably not it. It's probably stress. Because what we don't all realize is that stress takes over our hormones and causes similar, if not the same symptoms, because it's taken over. Cortisol has taken over. It has wiped out
Wiped ourselves
everything
out.
else. It is, first and foremost, king, queen, whatever you want to say. And it's creating those same symptoms that perimenopause does, but it might not be perimenopause.
Right. Right. Just something like, so when you start hearing this and you're listening to people, sometimes I think it's important, like as a listener, like I want to know the age and like what you're feeling that's making you feel like that.
Yes, yes, very good. Yeah, I would say currently at 48, I know I'm in it because I am not ovulating. My cycles are either weeks late or weeks early. Like I am all over the place. I have no idea. I keep it on the flow app, but Riley, honestly, it's
But
like
doesn't matter.
2 weeks late. I know I'm not pregnant. Then
Right.
it's going to show up when it wants to, I guess, or maybe not. I don't know. And it does just 2 weeks late or 2 weeks early or all over the place.
Yeah.
Actually, when I go on vacation, but that's true for whenever, right?
Yeah. Guaranteed.
That just always happens. Yeah, and I think, a lot of the sweating is kind of been a new one for me. I
Okay.
am not much of a sweater. I have never really ever been much of a sweater. But
Okay.
even just sitting in places, this is going to be really weird, guys. Welcome to Annie. It's like drenched.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't smell, but it is drenched. Like my armpits are like nowhere else really but my armpits.
Right.
It is crazy to me. And it's like all day. And it's like my toes are frozen. They're purple. My armpits are just like, what is going on? It is so weird.
Like
And the
sweaty
mood
armpit.
swings. I would have to say the rage. I have never been a person in my car wanting to flip people off. Yeah, there have been a few. This is really
A little bit more.
recently where I'm like, I am just so,
Which is not like you.
no, it's so not like,
No.
and then I go,
No.
okay, breathe. How about you? Have you had like these weird, like,
Yeah, I would say I'm just starting to tip the edge a little bit more in that like I'm not, my family might say differently, but I don't feel very moody or ragey. I'm not there. I definitely have more sleep type issues. Sweats for sure, but ironically, and I think that this has to do with more of a histamine issue, I have always had night sweats since I was like in my teens around my cycle. And so that's exasperated a little bit more, but still there. I'm still very regular, but my cycles are getting shorter. So I think that some of my biggest complaints would be headaches
Yeah.
and joint pain, actually.
Yes.
Being a little bit more achy. So I feel like I'm starting to toe the line of it, but I am still very regular in my cycles. It's just they're shorter.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is not a bad thing, right?
No, I'm not complaining about it. I'm not complaining about it. So I'm there, but I don't feel like I'm like, I haven't deep dove into it yet.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, both of our situations, I don't think people realize it. Well, let me start again. You can't take away the symptoms.
No.
Right? I think we hear about like HRT and XYZ supplement and all these things out there that are constantly being sold on us, at least in my Instagram feed. I feel like it's just constant. And while all those things might help or help manage or support, you're still going to have some symptoms. And so
It is
we have to
natural.
normalize. Yeah. And I think we have to normalize and help support one another as we're navigating these things. To have that friend you can call and be like, I am so angry.
Right. And have not feel like you're crazy for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because while we all want to feel our best all the time, there are going to be ebbs and flows of feeling your best.
Yeah.
And it's just this natural cycle that we have to flow. But I don't want the highs and I don't want the lows. I want to be able to feel them and have them be manageable.
Yes. Yes.
If that makes sense.
Exactly. And, going back to kind of where we started of like, these things are showing up. This has been happening for years, that connection. I know myself, like we were talking about 3 kids, homeschooling, personal training, taking care of life, doctor's appointments, working, corporate job. And I know your story is very similar. Husband working full time, so not at home to help. Not a lot of family to help, if at all. And so you are like the sole caregiver and also job, etc. Not that, my husband's not there when he is, but he just travels a lot, etc. Right? And so that grind culture, that hustle culture, I have to get up at 5 a.m. and work out. culture because that's the only time I had. So not a lot of sleep, not eating that well, cause probably lack of education at the time, hair falling out. I mean, these were my entire 20s, 30s into early 40s. Right? And realizing now at 48, as these things are starting to happen, I'm feeling the weight shift in my body. I am getting the cortisol, perimenopause cortisol belly. I'm feeling the weight shift into my tricep arms, like so random and crazy. And like we talked about just now, the rage, the sweats, like that has all been happening or leading up to for years. And if I had taken care of myself, not even 100%, like more 80-20 than because it was probably more like 40-60 or 30.
A few from that.
The 80, some of those weeks, months, years when they were really little, right? And you're just driving
all the time
and not sleeping. That's probably more like 99-1.
Yeah, even
for them, 1% me. So that that has just all compounded until I got to here, and now I'm feeling all these symptoms. And I think that's true for so many things, right? Like osteoporosis, arthritic inflammation. This has really just been a compounding of sorts. And perimenopause is the same, right? Some of it's genetics for sure. Some of it is, but a lot of it can be lifestyle choices.
Yeah, you're thinking about like what you're feeling now was really the result of what you did 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Right.
And I remember when I went to the doctor and she was like, you're at perimenopause, and my hair was falling out. And I was like, I need to get on top of this now, because me in 10 years is going to be really upset if I didn't pull this together. And like, how do I get on top of it now so that in 10 years, I am not feeling at my very worst?
Yeah, that's smart.
I want to be able to go out, and I still want to be able to work out, and I still want to be able to do all the things and not feel like I am irrational and out of control and so achy.
Yes.
And at the time, that's how I was feeling. And I was like, if I feel like this now and then I'm start going through menopause, no one's going to want to be with me.
Yeah, no, that's so smart, because I think there's such an idea of it's so hard to understand when you are young and healthy, or even just a little bit, under the weather, thinking about the future of like, how much worse could it be? Like, oh, that's later. I don't have to worry about that now. So I don't have to take care of myself now, right? I can do that later.
Right. You can't.
Right.
I often, one thing I try to tell my kids, I heard it from someone, and I can't remember who at the moment, but they were talking a lot. They were in their motivational speech, they were talking about like, what is your future self going to be happy with?
Mm-hmm.
And I often try to think like, am I pleasing my now, or is my tomorrow self going to be happy with the choice I made today?
Yes, yeah.
And trying to think a little bit more future driven, as opposed to like that momentary satisfaction. Does it always happen? No, but like, if I can accomplish that half the time,
it's huge.
It's huge.
Yeah, exactly.
So I do have a question for you.
Yes.
Then when you were like had hair falling out and you're feeling miserable and you're like, oh my gosh, what were like 3 steps you took to get to feel better?
Yeah, I think, going through IHP for me was an eye opener as far as how much fruits and vegetables we should actually be eating to help with the inflammation, to help with the fiber, to help with the, I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it there. I'll cut that out. The mind blanks is also another perimenopause symptom.
Like, you should keep it in there.
Yeah, and I think that was a huge eye opener of like how much food I really should be eating, because I have asked, as you guys know, I love nutrition, and I have always been curious about it. And so I've done research. I have asked every single person that was supposed nutrition expert, what do I need to eat for me? Right. And it was like, oh, do this, do that, do this. But it was never like, here's the plan. And going through that was kind of more like, oh, did I still have to personalize it for me? Yes. But it gave me such a better, clearer plan. And then, so I think that was step 1. Food for me was gigantic. I think figuring out what works for me. And this is a lot of tweaking and tinkering with supplements, exercise, right? I am such a person that will, you should lift weights to get strong bones. And then I start lifting weights and I'm like, but I don't like this and this isn't fun. And I get hurt every time I do this. And like, but like I love bar. And bar does really amazing things to my body. And I actually have fun when I'm doing it. So like, why aren't I just doing bar? But because the whole world has told me as a woman, I need to go lift heavy weights. Like, well, why can't I just go do bar and lift heavy weights? Like,
Right.
so I take bar strength through bar method and their bar strength class. And I use as heavy weights as I can for that class. And I'm like, this is great. My body's changing. I'm liking the effects. I have fun. Right.
You're not doing something miserable.
I'm not doing something miserable. And
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing, and this is something as a Pitta type A person, I am still trying to do every single day is listen to my body more. And that is really, really,
hard.
really hard for me.
You're really hard.
I'm a little woo-woo. I'm also an Aquarius. So I tend to be all in the mind. I get detached out of my body really quickly. And I'm like, whatever. That meat sack. But I'm learning to go, okay, what does my body actually need today? Like, am I on my cycle? Should I just walk? Do I even need to walk? Like,
Can I rest?
Can I just rest? Like, maybe I just need to rest and drink more water, and I think those three things have been game changers in this situation. And that's really just in these last 3-4 years that I've started to kind of really figure out all these different things. And yes, are there other things that do help me? Yes. But like those three things have been huge. How about for you?
Well, I'm narrowing down to 3 feels a little bit hard.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say the biggest one was that I gave myself permission to rest.
yes, I love
So
that.
I am a go-getter and I love to be busy.
Yes.
Like I don't sit well. You can probably see I'm super even Nancy in the chair. Like I don't sit well. And so I tend to overfill my schedule because that does bring me happiness. But then there's this tipping point where I overdo it.
Yeah.
And having had a son who was really sick and still trying to work and still trying to homeschool, that tanked me. And so when I got that, like my hair was falling out and they were like, you're in perimenopause, I gave myself permission to like take a 20-minute nap every day.
Yes. I love that.
Until I didn't need to nap anymore. But like I gave myself permission to take 20 minutes and just turn off for the day. That was super helpful. So giving myself rest. And still, even to this day, I find like I'll get myself to that worn out point and I have to remind myself to like start taking naps again. The food piece was big for me too, in that while I ate healthy, I don't think that I was eating what was healthy for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was really eating more, focusing on like higher protein, but not so much on the vegetable world, you know what I mean? And so I think increasing some of like my cruciferous vegetables and things like that helped metabolize and kick out some of that toxic estrogen, that was beneficial to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then slowing down in my workouts.
Mm-hmm.
I think, having be a go-getter and having worked at a strength gym and feeling like I needed to be hitting these levels and working out 5 or 6 days a week. And when I gave myself permission to take those 20-minute naps, I also gave myself permission to be like, you'd only have to work out 2 times this week. Yeah. And for me, that was a lot of my mental game and playing with what feels like the right schedule. You know what I mean? I still play with my workouts. Like sometimes it's 4 days a week, sometimes it's 2, and just seeing how I feel.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so awesome. And it's such a journey, I think, listening to your body, right? And like giving yourself that permission, because it's so hard when you're younger to learn that, do that, see that. But as you get older, I also think there's a culture there too. Like when you're 20, you're trying to do everything that your friends are doing or, what you think is right. But as you get older, you're kind of in the screw it, the era, right?
Yeah.
Where like, whatever,
Whatever feels best for me. Exactly. Like I'm not trying to impress anyone.
I'm going to be different and it's okay. Yeah, exactly. So I think that's such a journey. Well, that's cool.
And I often, like when you're in your 20s, you're figuring out your career and who your spouse, if that's what you decide you want to do, and who you're going to date. And then in your 30s, you typically like are establishing your career and maybe you're having kids and you're so busy like building yourself in like the corporate world or building yourself with kids or maybe doing both.
Yeah.
And then when you hit your 40s, you become a little bit more established
Yep.
most of the time. And you
Listen.
become more comfortable with yourself and who you are. And I
Yes.
think that's when that change starts to happen, is that like you're a little bit more established in your life, but also in you as your person.
Yeah, it's true. And then I see these women that are in their 50s or 60s and they're like, I'm in my fuck it era. And I'm like, I love that. I'm
I
looking
can't wait.
forward to that.
I can't wait till I get into that era.
That's exactly me
I
too.
don't think that I'm there, but really I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not either. I feel like I'm getting closer though, but it's still a little bit away. But yeah, I'm like, oh, the peace you must feel. Just like, fuck it, who cares?
Who cares? I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Right, I'm gonna say what I want to do. Like, it's gonna be great.
Have you seen the memes of like the women who are like, oh my gosh, I woke up today and I'm like, oh, I need Botox, I'm so wrinkly. And then screw it, I'm gonna age naturally, everything's gonna be okay. And I need to go to the gym because I really need to lose weight, but who cares? Because having a little belly fat's good for menopause. And it's like this, like what they play in their mind all day long. And I'm like, that is me.
That is 100% me.
I'm gonna go get some Botox. No, I'm okay. I'm okay. I don't need it.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. I know. It's so, and I feel like that piece of just being like, fuck it, who cares? That piece going away will just quiet to that mental noise. And
Yeah.
that'd be really
But I'm not there yet by any means.
I'm not either. But I
Maybe
do love
getting
that.
closer.
Yeah. Well, especially because when you see these women that have had all the things done and they're beautiful, and it's like, geez,
Yeah.
it's such that comparison that we do, right? Of like, oh, do I? Yeah.
Right. And I think for me, I often play this game of like, I want to be comfortable in my own skin. I want to age naturally.
Yeah.
I want to say F it to the patriarchy. I want to like
Yes.
be empowered. And then I go out somewhere and I'm like, oh, I feel inadequate.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I think it's playing with that inadequacy, that I should be something else.
Right. Exactly. I feel like if it was just like a group of women with no social media, we would all be like, we're gonna look how we're gonna look, like
Right. And if you as a person, if that's what you need to do,
yeah.
I'm talking about me personally and how I feel. It's this game I have. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I mean the exact same way. And I've been trying as I get older to be like, I'm going to embrace the wrinkles. I'm going to embrace the grays. I'm going to embrace the, weight shifts. But it does get really hard when then you start to see, like you were saying, other people who are not. And you're like, oh, but maybe, those things.
Yeah.
Question. Yeah. It's so hard.
I definitely have been working a little bit with myself, like as I'm going through perimenopause, and I'm seeing myself age and, my body change in ways where like what I was doing before isn't necessarily working, and trying to remind myself that like I need to stop focusing on here and focus on like what's in here.
Yes.
Because like when I focus on what's on the outside is when I become so discontent with myself. But when I really look a little bit more inward and growing myself as a better person, then I'm much happier.
Yeah. Well, and it's such that mindset too, right? Like everything, it comes back to mindset. And if we value and give ourselves enough self-worth that we are worthy of embracing whatever we want to embrace, whether it's natural, whether it's not. And if you decide to go natural, being worthy, no matter who else looks like what they look like, right? And having the confidence then to walk out into the world exactly how you are, like that changes everything in your face and your body on the outside if you have the confidence and self-worth on the inside, like you were saying, right? Like, and that mindset, I think the older I get, the more I realize it is all just mindset, right? The person that might not look like a Barbie doll, but has super confidence looks, you can hear my dogs, looks
I do
way more, beautiful than the person who is the Barbie doll, but has no self-worth and no confidence, right?
Right.
And I think I'm trying to still, again, listen to my body, but also learn that it is so much mindset, so much mindset.
Yeah, I think if I could go back, like if we're talking about perimenopause and looking back and like trying to like 20 years ago is how you're affected now, like that is the piece of the puzzle that I wish I had taken a little bit more of. It was like changing my mindset to
Mhm.
be a little bit different because
Yeah.
well, I can do all these things for my body. If I'm having that internal battle all the time, it I'm not getting anywhere because my body's under this stress of like I need to be this way or do this. Like that fight is constantly there.
That's
Instead
right.
of having that mindset and that peace to like move myself forward
Yeah.
and those symptoms not coming up because I'm not so like what's the word I'm looking for? There's not such a fight in my body. Does that
Right.
make sense?
Right. Yes, exactly. Yes, that ease, right?
Yes, thank you. I don't have the words, but you can take what I'm saying.
Yeah. And vice versa, right? It's perimenopause. We gotta help each other.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just
But yeah, I mean, I wish that I had someone to be like, "Hey, really start working on that mindset piece now
yes. Yes, exactly.
when
So
you're
that's a
in your
good
30s."
that's a good like next step. If you could go back and tell yourself or somebody now 10 years ago, what exactly would you tell them to do?
I mean, obviously the mindset piece, like,
Mhm.
being comfortable in who you are and the decisions you have and working on the inward person, not always solely on the outward
Yes.
appearance. I think I know I don't want to like beat it in, but like making sure you're sleeping
Yeah.
and making sure that you are fueling your body not only to feel good emotionally, but to also feel good physically.
Yes. Yes.
Just
I'm
having that balance of the two. Like
yes.
the other, I will say, like I say I want people to eat healthy, but like yesterday I left work and it had been kind of a hard day and there's a cup of yogurt right next door and I like went in and I got myself some ice cream and I sat outside and like had some ice cream because my soul needed that at the
Yeah.
moment.
I
I
mean,
mean,
that's medicine too.
right. And but giving myself permission to do both of those, not one or the other.
Yes.
What
Yes.
about you?
Yeah, I would say so similar, and that's why we get along. Is is the mindset something I'm still working on and learning myself, but I feel like if I had started, it all happens when it's supposed to happen. I definitely believe that. But if I think about, and you are exactly where you should be before I say that, but if I think about if I had started 10 years ago working on mindset, how much further along and more at peace I would be now. So yes, definitely mindset, that self-worth of, I think it also helps that there's such a patriarchy upheaval right now that we're seeing all the women, whereas even a year ago, right, a lot of this wasn't happening. And I think it gives people a lot more permission to act act out their rage if they're having rage, to, let go of things that they were, trying to not let go of before, to, be who they are instead of trying to act small. But yeah, I would say mindset. I would say, again, giving yourself, like you said, I love that permission or really listening to your body. I, for so long, have just said it's this meat sack I drag along.
Good.
It's true. And why won't it keep up with my mind, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because my mind is just all the time going, 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 and I feel like the body just lags instead of thinking the other way around, right? Going back to what the body should be leading and the mind, kind of going second. And so that would be my number 2. And number 3 would be today does not define the next 20 years. Right? Like, if I
Yeah.
don't do it today, I'm gonna gain weight because I had that piece of cake or I had the whole cake or I had whatever it was, right? Like,
Whatever it was.
today will not define the next 10 years, 20 years of your life. There is
One mess up.
always tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I I when you're in the thick of like raising kids or trying to grow your career or whatever it may be, I think as women we are often taught like you just kind of put your needs below all of the other things. And so I wish that my younger self had known that like it was it would have been beneficial to like really think about what I as a person also needed. Does you know
Yes.
what I mean? Like
Yes.
not always like who needs what from me
Yes.
that I'm supposed to be giving.
Yes, exactly. I still struggle with Mother's Day. Speaking of which, happy early Mother's Day.
Happy early Mother's Day.
Thank you. I still struggle with Mother's Day. It is a
Yes.
holiday I do not
Mm-mm.
love
Mm-mm.
because it becomes all about me. And that is like, no,
So
like
uncomfortable.
I don't really want the cards. I don't want the flowers. Like, let's just go get coffee. Maybe I'll take a nap and binge watch a stupid show. Like,
Right.
I don't want it to be like this whole thing because I hate it. Like, I hate all that attention again. And I know this is all just that guilt of like, it shouldn't be about me. Some of it's my personality. Like, I am more of a shy, introverted person. But some of it is definitely like, I don't want the attention on me. It's not supposed to be on me. It's supposed to
Right.
be on my family and my kids and whatever. Right. Like,
Right.
I'm just like the background person that sort of like helps them all do the things they got to do.
Hold the glue together.
Yeah. But I don't want to be in the front or celebrated. So yeah, my birthdays, my Mother's Day are super hard days for me. So like, I know for you too. So like, yeah, I'm starting to learn, well, I don't need to be like celebrated all day. I should celebrate myself more. So I bought a
Tell me.
bell.
Tell me what the bell is for, because I secretly love this.
So I don't know if you guys have listened to Derek Grant's podcast. I love it. It is all about mindset and spirituality. He says so many things that I'm like, yes, yes, you're right. Oh my gosh. He's a former Harlem Globetrotter turned spiritual mindset coach. He's great. And he talked about getting a bell and celebrating himself for all the different things. And I was like, you're right. I never take the time to celebrate myself.
Is it so if you do something, you ring the bell?
So like, I got a new client this week. I finished my website. Like, I chose to sleep or ring the bell, right? I mean, I'm trying to do it for every stupid little thing. And it took me a while because I didn't want my kids or husband to really hear this and be like, what is the bell? What's going on? I didn't really want it to be like a whole thing. But it was like in my fucking era, right? Like screw it era. And I was like, I'm getting the bell. Amazon cheap. That I'm gonna ring it for everything because I never take the
Brings so
time
much joy.
to celebrate myself. Oh, it's totally stupid, but I smile every time.
I love this.
Yes. Right?
I
Like,
love this.
so
For a second I thought the bell was so that everyone could come and grab whatever you needed.
well, that would be nice too, but I haven't used it for that. It's been more like me.
But here's the thing, like it puts a smile on your face and it celebrates you.
Yeah, exactly. Which I don't think we do enough of as women, as moms, as all the people that do all the things.
Yeah. As human beings, I don't think human beings celebrate themselves enough. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah, exactly.
I love that. I'm reading a book called Mattering right now, and it's all about like how as humans we want to matter and we want to give to people but we want to know that what we're doing is making a difference.
Yes.
But in that it also talks about like how do you make a difference for yourself?
Yeah.
And so that bell that's actually right on track.
Right?
I love this.
That's
Okay.
so great. So I have a question for you. What do you do to help your self-worth like feel higher or better or more, whatever you want the word you want to use?
Gosh, I don't know that I actually have an answer for that because I feel like I'm on that journey.
Yeah.
It sounds so silly, but when I went and got myself ice cream yesterday and sat there and had it, I came home and I like secretly took the cup from my car to like the outside trash can so no one would see it. And I was like, that's so dumb. Why am I hiding this? And then I came inside and I was like, so I went and got myself ice cream and everyone in my house was like, I'm so glad you did that for yourself. You should do that more often.
That's so cool.
But it was a part of me was like, oh, I need to keep it a secret that I did. And it's not a big deal, but I rarely do things like that. And so I think trying to remind myself that like I can give myself those little snippets of like moments
Yes.
is where I'm going to find it. Because I do find a lot of my self-worth in taking care of others.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
But I don't do it enough for myself. So I don't know that I have truly much of anything that I can say that I do.
That's okay. I love that answer. Just that you're figuring it out, right?
It's a more recent journey of me. Like, I think that this book prompted a little something in me that I was like, I should be doing something for myself.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
don't have a bell.
That's okay. Ice cream works.
I'm going to preface it with, because everyone who's listening to this who knows me in real life is going to be like, but you don't eat dairy. It was dairy-free ice cream. Yeah. So I still am on that journey. I don't know that I have that answer for you.
I love that. That's awesome though. That's so great. If we were to go and say, here's the one thing, and I know it's really hard to pick one, that you could tell somebody now, probably didn't like us, didn't take care of themselves in their 20s, 30s, early 40s, is experiencing all the symptoms, what would you tell them?
I waver between rest and diet. I don't know that I can pick, because you need adequate rest, sleep, like, and if you're not sleeping, how awful you feel, but you also really need to dial in nutrition.
Mhm.
And I think that nutrition and sleep are the two main things that can flip the dial. It's like the two things that I think flip the dial that you eat. And it's can be low-hanging fruit. You know what I mean? It can
Yeah.
be something that makes you feel really good really quickly.
Yeah.
What about you?
And yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. Those are top. I would say figuring out the stress level. And we talked about this a little bit last week, but a lot of people don't realize how much stress they're actually under. They've normalized it.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, it's like a 5. You know, we said these same things. And if you're curious, go look at last week's episode. But
Right.
like, honestly, once they start listening on the things, I'll be like, no, that's like a 9 or maybe a 10. I don't know. Like, oh my gosh. And it's the, older parents, it's the kids, it's the work, it's the pets, it's the, life, it's the everything, right? No matter what your life looks like, we are all busy people. And I think realizing and normalizing that we all are under a lot of stress. And if you can figure out a way to manage that or support it or alleviate it a little bit, get the help you need when you need it, I think that would help in so many areas.
100%.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
But
when I have a woman coming to me, talking to me about my cycles are really short or my cycles are really long, I'm like, well, we need to look at like your liver and your cortisol and the amount of adrenaline that you have pumping through your body to work on regulating that cycle so it is more consistent.
Yeah.
As long as they're not like in that perimenopause stage. But like, I don't think people understand how when your body is under this constant state of like push, 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 I don't even push with no rest, receiving, how much that depletes you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I think that you're spot on with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
My friend sent me this thing today and was like, ladies, if your spouse is telling you to rest, if your kids are telling you to rest, if your parents are telling you to rest, if your doctor's telling you to rest, if your massage therapist is giving you permission to rest, with like a list of all of these things, then guess what? It's time for you to go rest. But we need all those people to tell us, and then sometimes we don't even listen.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll be like, ugh, mind your own business. No,
Yeah, I'm daring you tell me.
I don't need to nap or sleep. What?
Or giving yourself like that, like, oh yeah, you are right. I do need to rest.
Right. Exactly.
So, I just thought that was great.
That's great. I love that. All right. Well, I think we're going to wrap up here. Please let us know how this landed for you. If you are trying to figure all this out, kind of the things you're feeling, maybe the symptoms you're feeling, maybe for Byrd to reach out. All right. Take care. Hope you all have a great day.
Bye.